Toronto FC playing the waiting game as they're waiting to find out who they will play in the Eastern Conference semifinal of the 2017 Audi MLS Cup Playoffs. Gareth Wheeler with you. This is a Toronto FC HQ presented by Kia, and we're right into the second season in Major League Soccer. The playoffs have arrived. It's a little bit different this time around for Toronto FC. No knockout round playoff matchup. They get to sit back having a bye from the first round of the playoffs. So the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference looks like this. The Chicago Fire will host the New York Red Bulls on Wednesday night, followed by the Thursday night affair with the Columbus Crew traveling to Atlanta to take on Atlanta United. What we do know is that Toronto FC will take on the lowest seed advancing. That means on Wednesday night, if the New York Red Bulls end up beating the Chicago Fire, they will take on New York. If they do not, we will have to wait until Thursday night to find out who Toronto FC will play in the first round of the playoffs. Now, asking around the Kia training ground, asking the team who they'd like to see in the first round, of course, they weren't going to touch that one. So no rooting interest this week, no preference into who beat who in the knockout round.
No, I don't get into that. That's a dangerous game. I just we'll watch the games and take the information that we can out of the games and prepare ourselves for whoever we face.
I think what's most important is our form going into the playoffs and our tactics and the mentality of the group. I think it's most important to think about ourselves first and then worry about the opposition second.
Well, anytime you have a preference, it kind of bites you in the butt. You're like, oh, I wish we would play these guys, and then all of a sudden they win and they're super confident, or the ball's just bouncing their way. So really, I think we're going to be watching obviously through the play-in game, but we're going to have to prepare for either team. It's one of those things where you don't want to root for someone and then a couple days you're playing against them. So, we'll be prepared no matter what.
So for Toronto FC at present time, it's more about taking care of yourself more so than anything else. There was a regeneration session for the players who did take part in Sunday's record-setting 2-2 draw in Atlanta. And for players who didn't play, a more hard session where they were working at a number of different things on Tuesday. For Greg Vanney, the advantage that he has plenty of experience to pull and draw from in putting together their playoff approach this time around. Not only last year's trip to the MLS Cup final, which would provide an invaluable experience, but 34 games this regular season where he was allowed to figure out what this Toronto FC team is all about.
For sure, we can tap into the experiences from last year. There's some things that we did over the course of the postseason that I think are important for us this year. But we have a few different aspects, I think, of this group that we didn't have last year that make this maybe a little bit, I don't want to say more interesting, but maybe a little bit different than even last year. So again, that's what the season's for, is to learn those things and to try to tighten up as many of those things as possible. And ultimately, the playoff success comes with the team that's in the best form, that makes the right plays at the right time and executes when the game is on the line. The whole regular season is yes, it's to win games, to try to win the Supporter Shields, try to do all those things, but it's information gathering along the way, and you have to utilize whatever information you can take away from a season, both about our team, but also about the opponents that we've played, and try to use that information to the best of our abilities to prepare for the playoffs.
What's also different for Toronto FC this time around, they are the hunted rather than the hunter in previous seasons. The expectation, the pressure for them to win is something that this team perhaps hasn't experienced before. But one player who has won a Supporter Shield and know what it's like taking that into the playoffs with you is Steven Beitashour. And he admits there will be a different feel for Toronto FC this time around.
It's different when you're the underdog rather than guys are kind of expecting you to win. So the good thing about the staff and some of the leaders on our team, we put that pressure on ourselves, so you can kind of see it throughout the season, and we'll put similar pressure on ourselves for the playoffs. If not the same, but more. We expect great things, and guys aren't happy until we win the MLS Cup, and that's, it's not about reaching it again, it's about winning it. So we know that there are a lot of steps, and our first one is the very first game, on the road. So we're going to have to do everything we can to prepare for that match.
Good news all around for Toronto FC. They have a week off to sit back, watch, observe, and get into fine form for what will be their first playoff matchup either next Monday or Tuesday. The team fully fit, no injuries to speak of. Wednesday will be an off day for Toronto FC. Then it's really go time as they find out who they'll be playing in the Eastern Conference semifinal. Keep it locked all week long to torontofc.ca. We'll be providing updates from training, and I will perhaps be giving you a new look in a few days' time. And while you have some time, give some love to Sebastian Giovinco up for the AT&T Goal of the Week with his super strike on Sunday. And Alex Bono, let's not forget about him. He is up for Save of the Week. Go to torontofc.ca. Cast your votes.